Good evening. We'd like to welcome you to our May regular school board meeting. We're grateful you're here. On my way in this evening, I happened to catch the radio, and 3 of our high school students were being interviewed, and they expressed gratitude for their teachers and counselors. And so I just thought that was really awesome, and I wanted to say how grateful we are for our students and our staff. We appreciate you all so much. With that said, I'll call this meeting to order. I will offer the pledge, and we'll pick up there. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now have a moment of silence. Thank you very much. And I will now entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item 4.1, approval of April meeting minutes.
I move to approve as presented. Go ahead, Angela.
I second.
I have a motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 5.1, ratification of expenses, payroll vouchers, tax credit, activity accounts. Ms. Davis, I assume this one's yours?
Nothing out of the ordinary. There's over expenses. And at this time of the year, they're going to be a bit higher because we're paying off a lot more expenditures. More people are resigning at this time of the year, so we're making more payouts of leave. So they will be a bit higher at this time of the year.
I move to approve as presented. I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item 6.1, student and staff recognition. Dr. Farnsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Board President. So tonight we have a packed house and we have a lot of recognitions. So we're going to do students, we're going to do staff. So just a word of order. We're going to bring different groups up tonight. So after we recognize your group, we're going to take a picture in front of the school board, and then we'd ask you to turn around and shake the hand of the school board members, and just so you all know what to expect. First, we have our student and staff from WMI. Ms. Roach, if you could come on up.
You guys don't have to be scared. Stand next to me. Good evening. So I'm just going to talk about a couple of kids and one of our staff members. First, Cooper Horner. What else can you say? I heard his name before I ever saw his face. I met this kid a year ago, and my life has been different ever since. Cooper keeps you on your toes. He makes sure you practice what you preach. He's the kind of student you don't quickly forget. For those who haven't had the privilege of meeting Cooper, allow me to introduce him to you. Cooper has a big presence. Cooper has an infectious laugh. Cooper can be a firecracker, but most importantly, Cooper is gentle. Cooper wears his heart on his sleeve. He always goes above and beyond. For example, when our basketball backboard was broken, he brought one to school. When the court lines faded on the court, he went to Ace Hardware. He secured donations for paint, and then he repainted the court. He built a garden area simply because he thought we needed one. He started a student group, and then he passed that student group on to another student, modeling what real leadership looks like. Cooper has been a leader, a builder, a bridge, and a spark. He doesn't just see what needs to be done, he does it. What sets Cooper apart isn't just his energy or ideas, but his willingness to lift others up as he moves forward. He has left his mark on our school in visible ways, like the basketball court, but also in ways that are harder to see, the confidence he's given to others, the example he's set, and the kindness that he's offered freely. And I will sorely miss him next year. And excuse me if I cry. So, Cooper, thank you so much for everything you do. This has to be yours. All right. Oh, my other one. Travis. Travis is a young man who has learned to step outside of his comfort zone and to take risks he once thought were too hard for him. When I first met Travis, he didn't speak to anyone. Maybe it was because of insecurity or a lack of confidence, or maybe just because he didn't know what to say. He simply came to school, did what he needed to do, and then he left as soon as the day was over. And then one day I needed help with math. And that's when the story completely changed. I asked Travis to help. I talked to him about how he ended up at WMI, which is something that I do not just with WMI kids, but all. He opened up and he told me about himself. He shared some tough information. And in that moment, Travis also began to realize something important. He is not defined by his actions alone, but by what he chooses to do next. And what he did next was nothing short of amazing. Travis has become an integral part of WMI. He's been willing to be honest and open when things needed to change. He gives me a different perspective, one that helps me to understand what a student might be thinking, so I don't just assume that they hate me. He's become a confidant to his peers. He's the kind of person who notices when something's off during class, and he cares enough that he will reach out after class. I don't know what WMI would be without Travis, but I can tell you that as a human, he has taught me far more than any lesson he ever learned in school. He taught me to watch for silent actions. He taught me to listen to what isn't being said. He taught me that even behind an amazing smile, sometimes you just need to say hi. He is my reminder to sit silently and listen loudly. I will forever be grateful for the lessons he taught me, and I pray he never loses sight of what makes him important, and I have no doubt he will make a difference in this world. All right, 2 down and no tears. We're doing good. All right, last. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share with you all the accomplishments of WMI, and while I could go on for hours about the incredible things happening and the amazing students we have, I would be remiss if I didn't also tell you about my incredible staff. Without them, none of this would be possible. Tonight, I'm especially honored to share Debbie with you, but just for a moment because we need her. Debbie is part of the foundation at WMI. She is one of the key reasons behind the success we've seen. She works tirelessly to build strong, genuine relationships with our students, and because of those relationships, our students thrive. Debbie is dedicated to every single student she encounters, always. It doesn't matter where they go to school, she makes it a point to know them. She learns their favorites, cheers them on in their progress, and celebrates even the smallest of victories. But her dedication doesn't stop with students' academic success. Debbie is committed to growing as an educator. She approaches tough, stressful situations with compassion, ensuring that her responses never add to a student's trauma. She's intentional, thoughtful, and always seeking ways to do better for herself and for the kids she serves. Debbie is part of the heart of WMI. Her compassion, her consistency, and her quiet strength have shaped the culture of our school in ways that can't be measured, but are always felt. I'm endlessly thankful for her presence, her partnership, and the example she sets for all of us. Simply put, WMI would not be WMI without her. He's like, I'm confused. And shake hands. Where you want to stand? Stand over there.
Yep. Nope, you're good. All right.
Oh, you have to shake their hand.
Too late.
Hey, so nice to hear about you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you guys.
Congratulations. Nice to meet you. Good luck to you.
Congrats. Thank you.
To meet you. Quite a
Thank
leader
you so
in here.
much, Ron.
Debbie, thank you for all you do. We appreciate you. Good luck to you, young man.
Are Cooper's and Travis's parents here? Stand up, please. Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. We know they're awesome because you're awesome. Thank you so much.
Well said.
If I could just add, for Cooper and Travis, we've had them in the district office, so sometimes we don't have a receptionist, and they've been lucky to loan them to us, and they've been answering phone calls, talking to vendors. They've been phenomenal, and so we're very happy that they could come help us out in the district office. So
Oh,
special.
that's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good deal.
We have the high school, Mr. Marchant.
Come bearing gifts. All right. Okay. We'll do students first. We'll do students first. Why don't you guys step on in? Perfect. Perfect. All right. Thank you guys for having us. This is the best time of year. Get to celebrate, get to share all the good things going on because we got fabulous kids, we got fabulous teachers. Could not be more honored to be here. Before I share about these guys, I have to share a quick story. So they were selected to be recognized tonight, and so I called them in one at a time to share that you've been selected. So we go through. I don't know if Ryan heard anything that I said about how great he is and all this stuff. So we get to the end, and he was like, can I ask you a question? I'm like, yeah. And he was like, who was the female student that was selected? And I'm like, well, she hasn't been told yet, but it's Lenora. And he's like, okay, good, because we got a little competition going on. And if I was selected and she wasn't, she would have been upset. And if she was selected and I wasn't, I would have been upset. And so I'm like, well, this works out perfectly. So then I'm, he leaves, goes on to class, whatever. She comes in, I share with her. I'm not even like a sentence in with her on how, great she is and why she's selected. And she's like, so who is the boy that was selected? And I'm like, funny you ask. And so I didn't share a name, but shared the experience I just had 2.5 minutes prior. And I was like, yeah, does he have any idea? And she's like, it was Ryan, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah. So this works out perfectly. 2 fantastic kids. Hard to compete, like just to settle the score. Like there is no winning here, okay? Like you both already have won a lot of things. So perfect. So I will start with Ryan. Shola High School is honored to recognize Ryan Lindsay as an outstanding Shola High School student. Ryan is finishing up his senior year and has excelled all 4 years in the arts, in the classroom, and as an absolutely fantastic human being. His selection for this recognition was a no-brainer because of his overwhelming list of accomplishments and the manner in which he was able to accomplish all these great things while still remaining truly humble, always putting others before himself. Ryan is one of those students who not only makes our profession easy, he makes it enjoyable. His teachers have shared that he is extremely witty and kind, always unafraid to ask meaningful questions and search deeper into the content. This is undoubtedly one of the primary reasons he has found such high success in everything he has been a part of at Shola High School. He's played strong roles in the musicals and Feast of Carols, participated in showbiz, helped with stage management, even wrestled for a year, served in National Honor Society, and completed both the advanced track program as well as our CTE drafting program at Shola High School. Despite his school workload being enough to feed a small army, he still managed to work for White Mountain Pharmacy and his uncle at an engineering firm in his spare time after school. I also cannot fail to mention that Ryan is not just hardworking, he is very, very bright. Most high school boys don't care to be recognized for their intelligence, but he's graduating in 14 days and won't see these kids for a while anyway. So I'm going to brag. So Ryan received a 32 on his ACT last year, which is one of the highest scores you can get. He also took all advanced courses, including a full high school and college load his senior year, up through Calc 2, and maintained over a 4.5 GPA with all. I didn't know the numbers went that high, but they just keep going apparently.
Mine didn't. I don't know.
Yeah. They go low, we know.
Yes.
But yeah. After his 2-year mission for his church, he plans to attend NAU and pursue a degree in civil engineering. So, yep, I think he's kind of smart too. In closing, I want to highlight that Ryan was selected by his teachers to join a committee his sophomore year, tasked with developing the core values statement for Show Low High School. I didn't know him well at that time, but through that committee work and over the next several years of schooling, I'm proud to note that Ryan helped develop and most importantly model what it means to earn everything, respect everyone, and account for ourselves as the next era of Cougar Pride. So, thanks, Ryan. One of these has your name on it as well. There we go. Okay, and then I got a bag down there. Next, we have Lenora. So Show Low High School is honored to recognize Lenora Bernier as an outstanding Show Low High School student. Lenora is finishing her senior year and has accomplished more in 4 years than most entire senior classes. And I don't say that jokingly, you're about to hear it. She is receiving tonight's recognition because of her unparalleled initiative to try new things and excel in each one of them. And yet her accomplishments are not even as great as her character and kindness. Now, honestly, it would probably be easier for me to list the few things that Lenora was not involved in, but for the sake of bragging, here we are. I will go ahead and list every single thing. So, she did 4 years of choir, 4 years of performing in the musical, 4 years of yearbook, with the last 2 as the managing editor. Keep in mind, each one of these is enough, 2 years of student council leadership, 4 years of acadec competing, 4 years of teen court. I'm running out of fingers here. National Honor Society, FBLA vice president. She did a math and science summer program at ASU and an NAU cultural and academic research experience summer internship as well. So each one of these responsibilities by themselves is usually enough for one child, but Lenora accomplished all of this while still working a job outside of school and maintaining over a 4.5 GPA as well. Maybe you're thinking that she took easy classes, to help with this workload, but think again. She took literally, I tried to find, I think she literally took every advanced course possible at Show Low High School. And while most seniors have 2 home release periods and a couple aid, teacher's aid periods, she's got a full class load with 3 more college classes, including Calculus 2 as well. Fortunately, we're not the only ones who have recognized her accomplishments. She was recognized as a National Merit Scholar her junior year for both rural and first generation. She received the PEO STARS Scholarship and the Arizona FBLA Scholarship, but most notably has received the Questbridge Math Scholar Award, which comes with a full ride scholarship to attend Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. This is next level stuff, guys. This is not like you probably won't hear me saying this that often. I mean, this is incredible. And she intends to earn a chemistry degree and pursue a career in academic research before returning to Show Low High School to teach math. I might have slipped that in there.
Quick, get a contract ready.
Yeah, let's get it going. Wishful thinking anyways, right? But we are so proud of her and cannot wait to see her change the world. So thank you all. Here's yours. All right. Okay, last but not least, we have Miss Debbie Hall here with us, okay? Shola High School is honored to recognize Mrs. Debbie Hall as a clear and obvious choice for her outstanding performance at Shola High School. I had the privilege of working alongside Debbie when she was the principal at Whipple Ranch, and was even more fortunate to bring her into our Shola High School staff as a CTE teacher for early childhood and ed professions 3 years ago. She has been a leader to myself and to our staff as much as she's been a leader to her CTE students. You truly could not create a more perfect teacher to put in charge of developing our next generation of teachers. When her colleagues were asked to describe her, they all said some of the kindest words a teacher could hear. One colleague described her as the most caring, organized teacher they know. And teacher was in quotes because that is exactly what she is. In their words, some people work at a school, but Debbie teaches. Couldn't have said that better myself. Another new teacher described Mrs. Hall as a great mentor and friend that always has a smile and is willing to help whenever asked. She also was described as being very knowledgeable and a top resource for our staff and students. Specifically relating to her unique leadership ability, she is able to guide others and make them feel good about themselves, even through challenging times. If you ask any student from any class period, from any year that she's taught, they all will tell you how great of a teacher and mentor she was to them. I swear not a day goes by when I'm talking to students at lunch about their favorite classes and teachers, and Mrs. Hall's name isn't brought up. In fact, just last week, I was asking a group of students about which teachers inspire them the most, and 2 of the students mentioned Mrs. Hall, only to find out that they don't even have her class. Of all the teachers, they were talking about Mrs. Hall. Her influence on our school and community runs extremely deep and cannot be replaced. In closing, I wanted to share that she is hands down the best storyteller of all time and one of the funniest human beings I know. And I would have her share this amazing story about her high school PE teacher and like a disco song, but unfortunately we don't have time tonight unless you.
I'm good.
Okay, all right. maybe another day. But all in all, this school district and our high school would certainly not be the same without Ms. Hall's influence, and we are excited to work alongside her as she takes her talents to the next level with our future teachers at MPC. So, slid that in. All right. Let's do a quick picture. Yeah.
You're not.
You're okay with it?
Thank you.
Right, exactly.
Just seem one
I might
arm on
look a
each
little
of us. We
thinner.
look like we're conjoined twins.
Let's scooch together and we'll just be right here. I don't mind if you can scoot this way. There we go. Make sure you pick.
Congratulations. Thank you. Good luck to you. Congrats. Good luck to you and your future.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are Ryan and Lenora's parents here?
Take care.
Ryan's parents? Lenore's parents here.
Okay, that worked out perfect.
Thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate you guys. We're not done, are we?
We are not done.
Perfect. This is my favorite part of the meeting, so the longer we can make it go on, the better.
Mrs. Whipple and State Choir.
So tonight, we would like to recognize our 9 All-State Choir or state champion kids who have worked extremely hard this year. The process they have to go through is not easy. Making regionals, and some of these kids were first chair in our region, and all of them were in the top 10s and top 5s in our region and represented well. And then at All-State, they had to compete against 700 kids for 200 spots in the state choir. And these kids worked really, really hard and performed beautifully. We had 2 students who made the top 10. Lincoln Taylor was second chair bass in the state, and Eva Cornelson was 7th chair soprano in the state. So we want to congratulate them for being in the top 10, and the rest of the kids, of course, made the choir as well. And we were just super proud of them. This is the most that we've ever had from Show Low High School Make All-State, and so it is an honor and an accomplishment to them. So we have Aiden Ratliff, who made tenor, and then Eva Cornelson is soprano, who did I miss? Tyler Hall, who was a bass, and then William Brimhall, who was tenor, Haley Robinson, soprano, Lincoln Taylor is a bass, Cabry Black on alto, Lucy Brewer on alto, and Clarissa Badger on soprano. So we are super proud of them in the way that they represent our school, the way that they performed, and it was just outstanding to get compliments from some of the big schools in the Valley that only had 1 or 2 or 3 kids there to find out that our little school had this many. So I am super proud of these kids, not only for their characters and the talents that they encompass, but just the way that they represent and are kind to others. And I just love them all so much, and I'm super proud of them. So we just wanted to recognize each and every single one of them for the work that they have done and wish them the best, all the seniors and their success. And all the rest of these kids are going to keep performing for the next couple of years or so. So anyway, thank you for letting us be here and to recognize them for their accomplishments.
Miss Whipple? A lot of times when we think of state, we think of like sports where you're in the 3A or whatever. We're talking everybody, the entire state of Arizona,
Yes.
correct?
There were, every high school in the state could have kids audition if they made regionals. So at All-State, there were 64 high schools represented in the choir. And we had 9 of the 200 students that made it from Show Low.
Yeah, that just is an amazing accomplishment.
It's quite an accomplishment for our kids, and we are super proud of them. These guys worked hard. They will tell you they had to work hard. It's not easy.
We had to work hard.
The learning of their solos and memorizing and then doing the sight reading and everything that goes into that. If you've never had to sight read, come and I'll teach you, because it is not an easy thing. And some of these kids didn't know how to do it when they were freshmen, but they have learned by the time they're seniors, and they just do an amazing job. So
Good job,
they
guys.
figured it out well, and they are true musicians as well. So we applaud them as our choir state champions. So
Congratulations.
Get a picture.
Yeah, can we have everybody scoot down just about right there, yeah.
Scoot down. Accordion.
You might have to turn to your left a little bit and accordion, or to the right, that's good too. Congratulations, guys. Shake our hands. Good job.
Congratulations. Thank you. Have a great summer. Thanks for all you do. Thank you. Crazy for you was awesome. Yeah,
Good
totally
job.
enjoyed.
Way to go. Good job, man. Thank you. Way to go.
Good job.
Congratulations. Good job.
Crazy for you was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Good luck to you.
It's all good. Congratulations. It's all good.
Thank you. Congratulations. Have a good summer. My kids hate when I do that.
Miss Whipple.
My chair swivel.
Miss Whipple, thank you. Miss Whipple. Miss Whipple. You're awesome. Thank you. If you want to do awesome in music, come to Sholo. Next.
So now we're going to transition into our staff recognition. So there was something that I wanted to do different this year. I've seen it done in other districts, and we called it the Dream Maker Award. And so what we did is I asked Ben to help me out, and we asked all the senior English teachers to ask their students, we gave them a writing prompt, to write about their school employee who made the biggest difference in their journey, K-12. And I've seen this in the past where custodians get recognized, kindergarten teachers get recognized, and so it's completely up to the kids who they nominate through their K-12 experience in Sholo. So this is the first year we've done it. So I want to thank the senior English teachers at Sholo High School for doing that. I've read all the essays. We had a great response. And there's 5 teachers that the kids overwhelmingly felt deserved to be recognized. And so we call this the Dream Maker because they made dreams come true for these seniors. So I think we kept a good enough secret. We didn't tell them who they were.
Would Mrs. Castle please come up? Is she here? Come on up. I'm going to call them all up. So would Mr. Lewis come up? And I apologize if I mispronounce this. Mrs. Olette, did I say that right? Mm-hmm. Okay. Rocky Merrill. And maybe you could call him and text him to come back. And Mrs. Verkayek. Did I say that right? Open this so we can show that off to everyone. So as you can see, if we can, is it, okay. Well, what we do is we have actually a slideshow that we're going to blast that out in the next day or so to all of the district. It's okay, Shaylee. We're going to put this on our website, and we put in there quotes from the kids of what they said about each one of you. And so I just want to thank each of you. Just so you guys can see, this is a beautiful crystal pencil, and it says Dream Maker, Mrs. Castle. A good education can change anyone. A good teacher can change everything. So we just want to thank those 5 teachers for being the Dream Makers this year, for those seniors that nominated them, and we're going to do this every year. So I just want to say thank you, and for being outstanding.
Thank you.
And they're all, well, okay, let's see here. So,
This is Mr. Lewis.
okay. You are, okay. Let's go get pictures. And you're Mr. Lewis. All right, I'll help you.
Okay. That's a tough one.
All right. Let's-
If you have people here that want to get closer, we're good? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Castle, for all you do. Have a great summer.
Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Mr. Lewis, congratulations. Good to see you. Yeah, take care. Have a good summer. Thank you, Mrs. Burkett, for everything. Appreciate you. There comes Rocky.
Oh,
There's the rock.
give it to him or not?
Come on up, Rocky.
Come here, you gotta come up here now.
He's not his picture, but individual picture.
Yeah, I don't want, but at least
So do you
shake
know
our
why
hands.
you're up here?
I don't.
Okay, you're in trouble, that's why you're up here.
Good.
No.
You can ask John about that.
We had all of the seniors write essays about their favorite dream maker, and you were one of the 5. And so we just wanted to recognize you. Thank you for excellence. And you have a wonderful award to put in your classroom or at home or in the bathroom, whatever you want to do. But we're thankful on behalf of the board for you being such an outstanding teacher. So
Thank you.
if you we already took pictures, but if you want to shake your hand.
Thank you.
Well deserved.
Thank you, Rocky. Have a good summer.
Thank you. Don't you?
At this time, I think we're now going to do some years of service awards, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and some retirements. And I'm going to turn the time over to Nicole Pike from Human Resources.
All right. So we are going to start with, I'm going to grab all of these, sorry. Got a lot of 10-year individuals, which is amazing.
So again, we'll do 10-year, come up, get your award, and then we'll do a picture with the school board.
Okay, so tonight we honor and celebrate the years of service and dedication shown by remarkable individuals in our district. These staff members have contributed so much to our schools and community, and for a few, this year also marks a well-deserved retirement. We're going to start with Sherry Kerr. Sherry is retiring this year, and though her time with us has been brief, Sherry's impact has been meaningful and heartfelt. We thank her for her 5 years of service and wish her joy in this next chapter.
We're going to do all the retirees at the end, so just stick around.
Just stick around. Appreciate you. All right, so 10 years of service. We recognize a decade of dedication and impact from the following staff members: Christine Ramses, Rachel Podol, Jeff Barnes, Alex Deitering, Tammy Hagan, Patty Kramer, Ashley Robertson, Samantha Thompson, Carrie Johnson, and Azella Quintana.
Rachel Podol. Rachel. Samantha Thompson. Tamara. I see your last name. Christine Ramses. All right, let's all get in front of the school board. Did we get some?
Chester Barnes.
Mr. Barnes. Don't forget Mr. Barnes.
Scooch over this way a little bit. Is that,
My fault.
is that good?
Appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great summer.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great summer. Thanks for all you do. Thank
Appreciate
you.
you so much.
Good to see you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Ashley. Good to see you.
Thank you. You're awesome.
Have a great summer, Kristen. Good luck to you. We'll miss you, sir.
Thank you. I'll miss you tons.
Ready? All right.
And then I just want to say a special note to Mr. Barnes, who is also retiring this year after 10 years of outstanding service. Mr. Barnes' commitment to his students, his colleagues, and our community has left a lasting impression. We wish him the very best as he begins his new journey. So we'll do 15 years of service. We have Mr. Ben Marchant and Ms. Teresa Kine. And then I'll just say a note here, Teresa Kime is also retiring this year after 15 years of heartfelt service. Her dedication to education and our students has made a lasting mark. We're grateful for all she's done.
Way to go.
So good luck to you. Thanks, Ben, for everything. You're the best.
So now we have 20 years of service. Mrs. Rebecca Clark, Deanna Miller, Jerry Butler, Jennifer Murray, Jodelle Roten, Eric Rask, and Glenda McMillan. And then I'd like to acknowledge Eric Rask, who officially retired at the start of last year, but has continued to support our district through ESI. We're incredibly thankful he's remained part of our team and look forward to welcoming him back fully in October of 2025.
Murray, Jennifer. Did we get everyone? Okay. Let's do a quick picture. Thank you.
Thank you for 20 years. Thank you for 20 years. We appreciate you. Especially with kindergartners. You still look like a teenager. I know, you look like a teenager. Jerry, how you doing?
I'm doing better, thank you.
Good. You look great.
Thank you. Thank you. 20 years, that's a long time.
Thank you, Miss Becky.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so if we could get our retirees back up here all together for pictures, that would be great.
Do you want to read their names?
Uh-huh.
You read them all?
Yeah, I can do it again. So Jeff Barnes, Teresa Kime, and Eric Rask.
Does this go?
Are we standing?
So yeah.
I'm gonna take a picture of you.
Yeah, this goes together,
And then
and that goes together.
Mr. Barnes.
I'm not, if I go down, I'm staying down.
Come on over this way, folks.
Thank you, guys. Sorry, Teresa, sorry, I sat down. Thank you. Happy retirement, Jeff. Happy retirement, Sherry. Thank you for everything.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you.
When we get it, we'll fix it.
Oh, you're just, okay.
No, you're not.
Cool. Tell me to say hi.
To all our honorees, and especially to those retiring, thank you for your years of passion, purpose, and professionalism. You have shaped futures and left legacies. You will always be part of our Cougar family.
Thanks, Nikki.
If you'll indulge me, I'm not sure there's anyone in that entire group that hasn't had an influence on my children. Probably can say the same thing for
me.
a few of us.
Yeah.
Cannot express how much we appreciate you, and for those of you who are moving on to retirement, we wish you just absolutely the best of everything life has to offer. Thank you so much. 6.4 AI presentation.
So we have a presentation from two of our shining stars in administration, and they're going to talk about artificial intelligence.
Terminator.
I'm Amelia Savage.
Hi, Clayton Winnett, assistant principal at the high school.
Joe.
And I think you all have a copy of the policy as well. So, can you click? So Clayton and I were tasked with creating an AI task force over the course of the year, this year, to look at AI and how we can implement AI in K-12 education. We put out a survey, an interest survey of teachers in grades 6 through 12 to see who would be interested in participating in that task force. And we ended up with a really great diverse range of teachers with a great diverse range of expertise. We also had our director of technology with us through this. And it was a really great experience. I think we learned a lot ourselves working through this. So we partnered this year with Khan Academy and the Arizona Department of Education, and it was because of this that we realized we really needed to create some guidelines for our district to move through as we start to implement AI in our district. And so the creation process, of course, we met between November and March. We did a lot of research. We really leaned heavily on NAU's generative artificial intelligence guidelines for implementation in K-12 schools. That was very interesting to work through. We also looked at what other districts are doing in the state of Arizona in terms of AI implementation in their districts. And then we also put out a survey to determine what type of AI is already being used in our district by our teachers. And we use that to kind of work on this ethical AI use policy statement for our Show Low Unified School District, which of course you have there with you. Click. Also in there are a couple of links that you guys can link to and check out some of those resources that we used. Some acknowledgements here, of course, all of our members throughout the high school, our RISE program, and our junior high as well, and they're all mentioned there.
All right. As you can see, I hope you did your homework and read through it all, John. Policy is pretty dense. I think it goes about 12 pages, including some addendums at the back there. So I'm just going to generally kind of go over purpose of the policy and some things that we considered in designing it. So first of all, AI, we want to use it. It's being used in our classrooms. We want to make sure that the purpose of it is to improve our teaching and learning in the classroom. We want to make sure that fairness is promoted with regards to AI use, that all kids are taught how to use it, because just like any other skill, if you don't learn it coming out of high school, you're behind everybody else. To also ensure ethical AI use by students and staff. So we did consider plagiarism and things like that in our policy. And also privacy protections. Because what we've learned in this process is that AI, when you're using it day in and day out, it starts to know you and who you are and everything about you. And so considering the privacy of our students and staff and using it on our servers as well. And in the policy, it covers, it has guidelines for students, teachers, staff, and administrators. There's a list of approved AI tools in there. So the committee, we surveyed all the teachers in the district and found, I believe, five or six tools that are most commonly being used. And we vetted those to make sure that they are appropriate to be used in our classrooms. For students, so they may only use those approved AI tools. I'll show you a list of those in a second. And if they are using them, they must follow our academic integrity rules. So at the high school, we have a cheating policy, and this falls in line with that. Teachers, staff, and administrators, kind of the main guidelines there is that we are using AI to support our teaching, not replace it. There are so many things that you can do to just enhance your teaching and your ability as a teacher that you can use it for. And then more for administrators and teachers and staff, but we use AI for support and not to make our decisions for us. So to gather research and things like that. The approved AI tools so far, and like everything, this is probably going to be a living document as more tools are created. We learn more about things, and accesses cost more money and less money throughout the years as they get more developed. So right now we have approved ChatGPT, Khanmigo, of course we have our partnership with them in the Department of Education, Magic School AI, Gemini, Diffit, and Canva. These are all tools that teachers across the district have been using for the last couple of years. And so when we survey teachers, we want to make sure that we got the things in there that they wanted and that they were already comfortable using. We also made sure that our approved AI tools do follow educational laws. So FERPA, COPPA, SIPA, and PPRA were considered in this. And thanks to Hal for that. And so just a little bit about those. So SIPA filters harmful content. It's a policy about that. FERPA, protects students' records and privacy. COPPA limits data from children under 13, and PPRA safeguards sensitive data. All of these were taken into consideration when we designed this policy. I believe that's it, unless there are specific questions we might be able to answer.
I was really glad to see that you had a committee that was fully inclusive of all the different departments, you know, including like HAL, because that was one of my biggest concerns, is ensuring that we weren't violating any FERPA, COPA, or any of that. So thank you for that. And it was a long read, but it was a good read. Yeah, very informative. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Not really a question. I was just glad to see, and there's so much in here that is just so informative and on point. So I love that. If I can just highlight some of the things, parents and guardians are encouraged to become familiar with the student family handbooks and codes of conduct for which their children attend the Show Low School District acceptable technology use policy, as well as all rights and responsibilities as outlined in the student and family handbooks. So again, it's accessible to all the parents so that we can remain transparent in our goal. We're not only supplying our students and staff with this AI technology, because that is the way of the future, but we have a purpose and a goal, and it will include families to go along right with that. A question, or yeah, I guess it is a question. The policy agreement, will that be on the district website?
So the plan, our timeline is, now that you've seen it and you've seen the presentation, we're going to bring this back next month for you to officially approve it. And then once the board officially approves it, this is something that we could insert into every student handbook for junior high, high school, elementary, so that will be accessed. And you can see the signature page, that's something that we want to be sending out, that will require signatures from every family and student, because artificial intelligence, I think we can agree, it's not going to go away. It's only going to be more advanced, and we got to have some guardrails and parameters, because it's a moving target of sorts. But I just want to thank these two professionals and the committee. They did a fantastic job, because it is a moving target and things are changing all the time. But I felt like we needed to have some starting point and some guardrails moving forward. But you will see this topic again. It's not going to be a one and done for sure.
That's wonderful.
So much work.
Wanted to highlight also, parents have the right to review instructional materials, surveys, and evaluations before they are administered to students. And then there's an opt-out option for all of these, so just so it's on record. Schools must inform families annually about their rights under FERPA. So thank you to the team and everyone who's put your hard work into it. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Next time, Clayton.
If you want one, we can do one.
That was good.
6.5, West Ed presentation, Ms. Jones.
Hey.
Hi.
Great shoes today. They're awesome.
That one says NAG.
Oh, very good.
I was loving the t-shirt.
You are so funny.
That is awesome.
So we want to talk a little bit about West Ed. West Ed's been on our campus since fall, and I just want to give you guys kind of a heads up what's been going on. Why? We talked in the fall about the fact that NHE has been under some sort of TSI, which is the Targeted School Improvement, since 2018. Staff is in need of explicit training on how to utilize the data that we have and how to use it to drive instruction, and also how to show growth of our students. The other reason was to build capacity of instructional staff by strengthening our professional practice, once again, data-driven, and through our PLCs. And we have found that there's just a few things that were lacking at Nicholas Homestead, even what a professional learning community is in using the data versus what a team meeting is, and the difference between the two, and how can we utilize our time more effectively on campus. West Ed was brought in to utilizing our grant monies through that TSI process to train our teachers on PLCs. We brought them on campus multiple times. If you follow our Facebook, we post tons on Facebook just to kind of see what we're up to, which has allowed for specific instructional training. We knew ahead of time what they were really going to focus on, which then we were able then to prepare our teachers as well. And it also helped based on each grade level. Through the modeling, they were able to have their own PLC meetings on the campus. And so at the beginning, it was very much watching, whether it was Jason, Charlotte's been a huge part, myself, watching what it looks like as we model what this looks like, and then them coming back over then and taking over the reins and modeling within their own teams. And then teachers utilize their own data during PLC training. It was important for us to use something that was relevant. You can pull random numbers, but they could actually look at their kids and say, okay, what is working and what's not working. Ken from ADE, he was actually on my campus. He met with us yesterday at the district office. He was on my campus this morning. He's met with administration over the summer virtually with me before I was actually the principal. He met with me in June, a couple different times, and then has been on campus 3 times this year. Today was our 4th, and then met once virtually, where I actually walked around with the laptop and he was in the classrooms. He also sends out monthly emails. He's very open. If I have a question, I just email him. He's very open to Mrs. Anderson as well. And he's the education program specialist with ADE that supports school improvement at NHE, and he's also a part of WMI as well. Specifically for Nicholas Homestead, our subgroup is our special education population. And so that is our students with disabilities, and it includes supporting the development of strong Tier 1 instruction. And when you look at strong Tier 1 instruction, it's partnering with administration and our leadership team, looking at our data, providing helpful resources, providing grant support, and problem solving in general. So as a first year principal, for me, it's been huge for me to go back and say, okay, explain the things to myself. And he's super patient about this. This is what we're doing, and this is what we're lending to get us to when it comes to Sholo. Jason from West Ed, she as well been on campus several times. She does tons of Zooms with us to help plan the trainings, and she's been on campus 5 times, and she comes 2 times. When she comes, it's a double day. She comes on Thursday. She walks the campus with us. We hit every classroom. We spend a few minutes in, we come back out, we talk about what we saw. And then we go into the next classroom, same thing. Teachers, at the beginning, it was really us going in, what did we see? And as we progressed, it was teachers telling us specifically what were we looking for. Pick something that you want to get better at, and then we are then going to go ahead and we're going to try to identify what's going on and then give them a what if, that next, what can we do to push it to the higher level. Fridays were utilized by applying previously learned skills to PLCs in the morning, and then staff training on the new protocols that they were working on. Some of the changes that we've seen is really understanding that difference between a team meeting and a PLC. There was a little bit of apprehension at the beginning. I was told some of the grade levels were having 3-hour PLCs, and what they found, it wasn't a 3-hour PLC, it was a 3-hour team meeting. And so it's things that can be wrapped up in an email. You do not have to sit and talk about all these specifics. Setting those time boundaries was huge for our PLC discussions, and having those time protocols, knowing that this should take 10 minutes, having a timer set, we're done, we're moving on to the next thing. How to respectfully collaborate with your team, using emotional intelligence, inclusion of specials and our special education teachers within that PLC, which is something that's, I think, been very eye-opening for Nicholas Homestead, is really realizing that our subgroup is special education, but Tier 1 instruction is Tier 1 instruction. And good Tier 1 instruction is going to move all kids, not just certain kids. And then shifting the focus from just student learning to teacher learning as well. It's important for our kids to see that we as well are learners. And then utilizing the team's collective expertise to show lessons. And so we may have a 20-year veteran who is really good at centers, but then you also may have a teacher who is fresh out of college. She may even still be in college. She's one of those teachers we've been able to find an alternative way, and she is really good at centers. And so it's really taking those strong teachers where they are in their specific spot and then helping the team become better as a whole. Vital Protocols, which is visibly improving teaching and learning for NHE, is tuning a lesson, which is our PLC team reviews a lesson. A member is brought, so a teacher will bring their lesson and say, this is what I'm going to teach, this is what we're doing, this is what's happening. You look at it, you give praises, and then you start asking probing questions about it to deepen the thinking, maybe polish some suggestions where they're like, oh, I didn't think about it like that. And then making sure that feedback is constructive. We are not tearing one another down. It's really looking at what could you do to become better at that specific lesson. And then the presenting teacher then identifies lesson adjustments based on those discussions. Second part was analyzing our student work, really identifying what type of student work needs to be collected, and then can the chosen work be analyzed to meet the objective as a result of lesson. So for example, at the beginning of the year, third grade spelling tests, very normal, and they had 20 words on their spelling list, which is, for those of us my age, 20 is pretty normal. And so my question to them was, why those 20 words? What is it about those 20? Do you enjoy spending 2 hours grading 20 spelling words? What are those words doing, and how are you using them to drive your instruction? What they found as we adjusted, and we are actually using Heggerty now in third grade, we've done a full year of it, they found that really they only needed 4 or 5 words. Much quicker, you can spot on see what are they missing, what are they not. It's all based on what learning objective for the week was, whether it's a pattern, whether it's sounds. And so it enabled them to cut their time and save their time as a teacher, but really those 5 words will drive those instructions. And then the final was progress monitoring, which is to check for growth and understanding to adjust teaching as needed. And that should be going on really on a daily basis, really reflecting on what did I do well, what do I need to adjust. And then moving forward with WestEd, because of the turnovers at NHE, we do have several teachers that are moving. We've got some that are retiring. Our 4th grade team will be a brand new team next year completely. We made the decision to take that final training for WestEd and bring her back at the very beginning of the year. That'll enable us to, the ones who are returning, to just kind of do a review. Hey, don't forget, this isn't just a this year thing. This is a thing now that's an expectation for Nicholas Homestead. And then it will also introduce those new staff members that this is our expectation, this is what we're doing, and this is what we're looking forward. And then the staff will set goals and expectations for our vital PLCs for the 25-26. We have a general idea what we'd like to have. Mrs. Anderson and I've talked about it, but it's really getting the staff to do it. The staff needs to have that buy-in. And then Nicholas Homestead will continue to strive for teacher growth and learning, as well as our data-based decision-making. So when you look at the data, we've got 2 slides for our 24-25. This is both math and EL. This is current where we were. We have taken 2 benchmarks assessments so far, August and then December. They're still working through their benchmark right now, and so I don't have what the end of year data is going to look like. The students not pinpointed represent new students and withdrawn students, or students who take an alternative assessment, because we do have some of those students on our campus that, because could be self-contained, that don't take the traditional assessment. And then the current growth data is represented as a monthly increase with the 8.5 months of school. So looking at our IXL data, grade 3 is up about 13 months, and so that puts us ahead. 4th grade is also at 13 months. 5th grade is a half a year, so we know that that's a little bit lower, but we also know some of the past of Nicholas Homestead and where those 5th graders are. Those are your true COVID babies. Those kids went home their kindergarten year. 1st graders are teaching them sounds. This is what they were doing, trying to look at their teachers. You're looking at 4th grade, high numbers last year at Nicholas Homestead, high teacher turnover the year prior, not this year, but the year previous. We did start the school year with rotations. I shut it down at fall break. We weren't seeing the growth. I didn't like what we saw. Teachers came together and we decided to mainstream those kids into traditional homerooms. One of our 5th grade classrooms has been through 1 teacher, 1 sub, and now has a full-time teacher. He is amazing. We're excited to have Mr. LeBac. But not to make excuses for that 5th grade, but there are lots of pieces. And that's the good thing about looking at data. Looking at it right now, I'd say, oh, they only grew 6 months. Well, they're not done. Currently, in mid-April, they were at 6 months, but also here are the things and here are the factors. And knowing those factors, we can now adjust those factors. So next year, that's not going to be something that's going to affect our kids. When you look at the next slide, the ELA, we are in about the same space. Third grade, same thing. They're 1 year, 1 month. Fourth grade is at a year, and fifth grade is also at a half year. The goal is that they would be at 1 year growth by the end of May. So third and fourth grade is chugging right along. Fifth grade, they're moving. And so their first benchmark at the very beginning of the year, they were in a negative. So they have made up what they lost and then some. And then the goals. So our goals for Nicholas Homestead is continued implementation of our PLCs for our teachers, continued work on our school pillars. The primary focus for this school year really has been rebuilding our school culture. And those that have been around know that that is a primary for Nicholas. Next year, we'll continue to do that, and we'll begin focusing really on those academics. The next 2 school years after that, we will begin the implementing of identity pillar and the continuous improvement pillar. And then Nicholas is currently as well working on rewriting our mission statement and our school vision. We have brought on a site council, which we did not have. And so it's very old, it's very wordy, and nobody knows what it means. And so if it's not relevant to our school and it's not relevant to our teachers and it's not relevant to our students, then it needs to be gone. And so for me, I am super proud. I'm proud of Nicholas. I'm super proud of our staff without starting to cry. I'm really grateful for our amazing families that make our school community. So, do you have any questions?
Looks great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for presenting to us because, Nicholas has been a school we've been concerned about, so it's great to see the growth and good job to you and all your staff.
I'm really excited. They have worked really hard.
They have.
Our families have jumped in. I'm really proud of our families. We've felt a lot of support.
It takes a village, right?
It does take a village, and I think that's really, really huge. Is rebuilding those relationships has been huge. And so parents realizing, and I think it's been helpful that a lot of them know me, and a lot of them know a lot of our teachers that have been around for a while. And I think the other positive for Nicholas is building that bridge between Whipple and Nicholas, and really them understanding that and Heather and I say it all the time, the Whipple babies are Nicholas babies, just not yet. And my Nicholas babies are Whipple babies. And we are very protective of that group of kids because they are our kids. And I think that is a mind shift for our district, that they are all our kids. They're not just SPED kids. They're not just traditional kids, or they're not just self-contained kids. They're not just Whipple kids or the junior high kids. They're our kids. And it really does take a village for us to have them successful.
Not that under your leadership, you went ahead and made the changes. You recognized where it wasn't working, and then you just went ahead and made adjustments to fit the necessary protocols. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, can't wait to see the end results.
Real quick, we've been having a really great time with the Visions Committee and everything, and I'm just wondering if maybe some of those things that committee has come up with can be shared with Mrs. Jones so that she can know what those are, so that when she works on her vision and mission.
That will be the goal, is now that we've established a district vision, a district mission, a district guiding principle, and the board adopts that will be pushed out to all the leaders so they can make sure that their campus aligns with the district.
Perfect.
So that's forthcoming, absolutely.
Perfect. My other comment is, it's really great when you get the right people in the right places. And it would have been nice for you to have been there a few years ago and we'd be that far ahead, but we have that to look forward to.
I think this was perfect. I think it was great. As when you look at my past, this is my 7th year here. And so I taught 5th grade and 4th grade at Nicholas. And so I saw what that should look like, or what it did look under the direction of Mr. Hall. And then I went over to Whipple, and I was under 3 principals at Whipple in those 4 years. And so the kids next year at Nicholas are all my kinder kids, so 5th, 4th, and 3rd. And so I'm really excited. It gave me an opportunity to go back down to kinder, which is really where my heart started at the very beginning of my teaching career. And so I've seen where it looked here in 5th and 4th. I took it back down to kinder, was able to watch what that looks like, saw what Heather was doing when it came to her change. We have very similar feelings when it comes to what our expectations are for teachers and for our campuses. And so building those relationships, I think the timing was exactly when it needed to happen. So I'm excited.
Perfect. I love that you guys collaborate so much. Super great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Six point six, curriculum adoption of online platform for WMI.
So I'm just here to talk about the proposal of the recommended to adopt subject.com. Currently, the high school and WMI both use Edgenuity as their online platform for initial credit for some kids and then credit recovery for the high school kids and some of mine. One of the things that we've noticed is that the academic integrity is not where I would like it to be with Edgenuity. Recently, I blocked Google, and I about had a mutiny in the room because I took Google away. And I was like, man, there has to be a better program that actually like engages the kids, is at their level, there has to be something different. So we started looking, we found subject.com. It is a new company. This is, what did he say? 7 are in Arizona currently, 7 districts. They actually have employees who used to work for Edgenuity who are helping them to develop their program. They are accredited through the state of Arizona. They do line up with all of the requirements through Arizona Board of Education for high school graduation. It is a 6-12 program. The difference in the programs is very dramatic. The login is in there for you to be able to view it. It actually is documentary style as opposed to a blackboard on a screen that somebody's writing on. Some of the classes, the teachers, it's actual teachers. So there's a person at the front who's, sometimes they're dressed up, sometimes they're not. But when we were looking at Edgenuity versus Subject, my kids tried it. So they gave us some licenses so that we could try it with some of our kids, got feedback from them. It actually doesn't let them go to Google, and it actually is more engaging. So the kids actually have to do things in the lessons rather than, for instance, in science. Right now they write reports or they do research on a science topic. In Subject, they manipulate things on the screen in order to do the science activities, and then they reflect on that. I'm trying to think. I'm just going to go through this thing. Our rationale for it was that it's just more engaging on the kids' level. Some of the things that the company talked about were that their color schemes are better. It's more flattering for kids to look at during the day, like for extended periods. They also are open to, so one of the suggestions I had asked is, can we do an escape room type of class? Like, I don't, as a teacher, just in the regular classroom, I would do those lessons on a topic, whatever we were doing. And I was like, how come like on an online platform, we can't do that? Well, within 3 weeks, they went back and created an entire class that was based on that idea. So the fact that they're willing to work with us to develop whatever program, whatever class we want in the way that we want it. They also offer it in various languages. So like my kids that are ELL, they can have the course done in their first language, and then it also does it in English. So it also helps support language learners. All of it is, they start off with a pre-test, it identifies their levels, so it's all differentiated for each individual kid. It comes up with a learning plan for each kid. So if a kid is struggling in math, it'll tell me this is where they should start, and then here's where their track should go, and this is the progression that they should be in. It is all graded by actual people outside of our district. So it's no longer like me having to argue about like, well, that's all AI. And like it's somebody, they have a team and they have a 24 to 48 hour turnaround on every assignment that's in the program itself. And it's graded by humans that's their job. I will say it does save us a little bit of money over what Edgenuity is costing on the renewal end of it. It's still open 24/7. They can access it from home. They can access it from school. The nice part is if they access it from home, it's because it's the program, it still has the same parameters as far as searching in Google for the answer. It's unlimited professional development because it is a new program. Obviously, there's going to be a learning curve on the staff end of it as far as how to work the program. But it's unlimited, whereas the current one that we have offers I think it's 6 professional developments throughout the year. It's just far more engaging. The feedback that I got from kids and from families was that they learned more. So sometimes the kids I'll say, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, a video's playing. And I'm like, well, that's the teaching. So when they were like, oh, this is like, they will engage with it and they watch it. And I was watching one young man, he's like 19, and he was watching the history teacher who was dressed up as a general and was doing this whole display, which for me, it was interesting to watch him because he was actually engaged in what the person was saying, not just to play the video and then move on. So again, it's just a way to have better academic integrity with what we're doing, and I want them to learn.
Did Mrs. Clark and Mr. Marchant have an opportunity to look at it as well? Because it looked like it was grades 6 through 12.
Right. Well, they have not. And that Mr. Marchant and I kind of discussed it. Credit recovery is moving to White Mountain. So it'll still be Sholo High School on their transcript, but we will oversee the credit recovery programs. When we talked about it, we talked with Dr. Farnsworth, and the belief was just that it would open up a classroom for the high school, and it would open up those teachers or the paras to be able to push into other classrooms to really provide more support for other teachers. And that since kids were doing Edgenuity, and it's what we do all day, how do we get this to be kind of more one central location? So I'll be listed through the high school as their teacher, and they will do all of their work through me. It'll be monitored through WMI.
What about grades 6 through 8?
So 6 through 8 is through us.
Okay.
Like they're
Clark is not involved in their educational process at all, or
do you use Edgenuity?
I
don't believe they do.
Okay, gotcha.
So kids that have to use it 6-8, they're
Mainly housed within your school. Okay.
which is why
WMI rather than, okay, I didn't know.
So Mrs. Roach, how many 6th graders or 7th graders or 8th graders did you have this year?
we have 7.
7.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, part of it just made more sense if we're already overseeing Edgenuity. It gives us 2 additional adults to put into high school classrooms to help support kids in any way that they need. But it also, like, we can oversee it. We will ensure that they're getting it done. They can work on it from home. If they're not working on it from home, I will find them. I will walk over, grab you, let's go to the WMI, and we're gonna hang out. So there's a whole plan in place for how to get kids through the credit recovery. But it was just made more sense to put it all into one location. And since we're already overseeing most of the initial credit, it just made sense.
But the younger kids are not credit recovery, right?
No, their original credit.
That is their schooling. So, okay, and so you'll just be keeping a close eye, and this is, it will be comprehensive for them as well, and providing a good education for them.
I actually think out of everyone, they will benefit probably the most, because it's really hard to be a 7th grader watching Edgenuity videos and trying to figure it out. Like, I've had a couple parents that are like, oh my gosh, this is killing me. But the new system, so we had 2 junior high kids try the new system, and both of them had the same feedback. It was like they were actually looking at the screen, doing the work. The science one was a huge one. It came back because they were like, oh, we can actually do these things now, and it's
So
not
they were
just
engaged. And,
Right.
Right. Okay, cool. Great. I just want to make sure we're hitting the gamut. So, yeah.
It's just 6-12, so it doesn't have below 6th grade. But I appreciate the fact that they're willing to do, like, if the first time I met them, I was like, how come you don't do this? And then 3 weeks later, they were like, oh yeah. And they've said, any class you want, you tell us what you want, we'll build you the class. It takes us 3 weeks.
Would you be able to use it over the summer before we implement it into the school year?
So my understanding is that because we're trying a new curriculum, we have to go through the 60-day review process, and then we can implement it. And because we don't have 60 days before then, we have to stick with Edgenuity. A lot of the kids too, high school and WMI, they're in the middle of their credit recoveries. And so we're extending it through June 30th, which would be the last day of our contract with Edgenuity. And I don't want to make them stop and then switch over to a different one.
Makes sense.
Any other questions?
Nope. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the passcode and the
I'm sorry.
username. It was
Yeah.
nice to go on there.
Yeah. Please check it out. I would love your feedback, and if you have suggestions, I'll give them to them too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. 6.6 curriculum. Nope, that was just it, right? 6.7, sorry. First aid training in the district. Mrs. Marsh.
Good evening. I was asked to provide information on what we are currently able to provide for first aid CPR certification in our district. And as you can see, at this time, the focus has been on those areas where it's required. I know for transportation, ADOT recently changed their rules where they were not, before we've used some online certification for first aid CPR, they moved to a model where it had to be in person. So I've worked with them to facilitate training for our bus drivers. And then right now, we're also just training our paraprofessionals that work in classrooms, our most specialized programs. So our kids with medical needs, those kind of things. And also it's required for our Medicaid billing as well that we participate in. So that's been our focus at this time. As you can see, we're limited by, I have one trainer, she can only do a class of 6. We only have so many dummies. But we are exploring some ideas and looking at some partnerships where, perhaps we could work with resources in the community to provide some larger group trainings, like for, come into a staff meeting, train all the teachers at once, those kind of things. But that has been the focus at this time.
So if we contacted like the hospital, they used to have staff that would come out and provide training.
So that's not anything that's been offered to us. I work closely with Darren from Summit Hospital. He's the one that actually facilitates training our health techs. We've just had so much turnover that I only have one health tech that's trained at this moment. So that's never been anything that's been offered to me. I'm trying to work with him to get our next group trained. So those are things I can explore, definitely.
Even the fire department.
Yeah, White Mountain Regional. I know both the hospital and White Mountain Regional have multiple people that are trainers that can come in and train instead of putting the time to train in our people who aren't staying. And they have the dummies. You wouldn't have to buy all the dummies and babies, and you could.
Yeah, so that's something we can look into.
Great.
Any other questions?
I hope we can start, moving into a direction of having more staff members trained, so grateful that you're looking into that and trying to facilitate that. Thank you.
Item 6.8, first reading policy 1-302. Dr. Farnsworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I've taken, we've talked about call to the public before, and I've taken your feedback and guidance and talked with our attorney. And if you look at the policy, again, this is not an action item. This is just so you can see what our attorney has recommended in terms of policy language. And if you have any feedback for me that you would like me to relay to the attorney, I can do that, but just wanted to bring this to your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 6.9, principal and director reports. Dr. Farnsworth.
I think at the last board meeting, we had a request to have directors provide a report, which you can see that they have submitted along with our principals, which I'm pleased to present to all of you. I would love the opportunity, and we can discuss this at the end of the meeting, to have maybe a work session in June where we bring the directors back and then you can ask each of them questions about their report, their year, goals for the future, and it can be more interactive. I think that would be very beneficial for them and for the board, so you could ask more detailed questions. But I just want to present these reports to you at this time.
Well, I wanted to say thank you. I'm the one who asked for them last month, and it was great. It was great to see where we've come this last year, you know, what's been worked on and what goals have been achieved. So thank you. I really enjoyed reading them, and I appreciate them. And I love the principal reports always, so thank you for those two.
Item 6.10, superintendent report.
Thank you. The first thing I'd like to share with everyone is that this week is Teacher Appreciation Week. So I just want to say publicly thank you to all of our teachers for all the hard work that they do, because they do work very, very hard. In my report, just a few highlights. I was able to attend the day of service that we partnered with the city of Show Low, and we were able to go out and paint fire curbing at all of our campuses. And thank Mrs. Campbell for being there. We're on the same team, so I think I even was able to boss her around a little bit. We're in the process of doing SMART goal reviews with all the directors and all the principals, and I think those are some of the big highlights. Ben and myself, we were able to go on the radio this morning with Janine Ford to talk about graduation, so stay tuned for that. And that was my second trip, so I'm just trying to find more avenues that I can share the good news about the school district. And so those are just some of the highlights.
Thank you.
Item 7.1, classified transfers, resignations, terminations. Dr. Farnsworth.
As you can see, there's a lot of action this time of year. The only thing that I want to say in terms of the termination that we have listed for the governing board is that that employee has resigned, but if you've looked at the content, we are recommending that the board follow through with the termination. The Arizona Department of Education has been notified. Law enforcement has been notified. So there's an active investigation at the state level and with our police. And I would recommend that be a termination and not accept that resignation.
I move to approve the classified transfers, resignations, and terminations as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.2, classified personnel employment. Dr. Farnsworth.
Again, pretty straightforward. In this specific action item, as you can see about halfway down, we're starting to approach some summer hour work. We have extended some of the work agreements for our office staff to 12 months, but that doesn't start till July 1. And so we are asking that some of our classified staff be brought back, in the June timeframe, so we can keep the workflow going.
I move to approve the classified personnel employee actions as presented.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item 7.3, certified transfers, resignations, terminations. Dr. Farnsworth.
I just want to thank each of our campus principals for just being very proactive in the hiring season, because we have a very small window to capture top talented teachers to come work for us for next school year. And I just want to thank all of them for being aggressive in their hiring, and we're advertising. And the one question that I ask our principals is, did we upgrade? Are we making upgrades? And by far, the responses that I get from our principals is like, yes, we're upgrading in these positions that we're hiring for, which, as you know, teachers make the difference in the classroom. And so I'm super excited to recommend these individuals for hiring for next year.
I move to approve the certified, wait, where were we? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got off on a tangent.
These are resignations and
The transfers, resignations, and terminations as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.4, certified personnel employment. Dr. Farnsworth.
So I got off track because I saw the resignations. And I'm like,
Threw me off.
I knew they're hiring for new people. So here are the new people that we're excited to bring on for next year.
Go on ahead, Angela, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say fantastic, all the new hires. It's so exciting.
You can motion.
I motion to approve the certified personnel employment as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.5, 25-26, admin personnel renewals. Dr. Farnsworth.
So we are asking that the board approve the administrative contracts, if you will, for this coming school year. And you've been sent those numbers for our administrative staff, and I ask that you approve that for this coming year.
I move to approve the 25-26 administrative personnel renewals as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion passes. 7.6, correction to classified salary placement schedule. Ms. Davis.
So last month, we brought the classified salary placement schedule to you, and on the high school receptionist, we had made an error to that salary. So we're bringing you that correction. It was just a tad bit high last month, so we're bringing that correction to you. So we ask you to approve that correction.
Okay, motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.7, 24-25 budget revision number 2. Ms. Davis.
So based on the presentation I gave you during the hearing, I asked that you approve the final revised budget for the FY 24-25 budget.
I move to, go on ahead, Paul, sorry.
I'll make a motion to approve the 24-25 revised budget as presented.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.8, procurement threshold approval. Ms. Davis.
So in this superintendent's contract, we have, he has an amount that is slated for, oh, I'm sorry, this is a different one, right? Oh, my bad, I'm sorry. This is the, every year we bring the procurements that are gonna be over the $100,000 threshold. So we do this in May based on what we've spent this year. For next year. So this is the list of those vendors that are going to reach that $100,000 threshold. So this is that list, and we ask that you approve these vendors for the FY 25-26 fiscal year.
I'll move to approve the procurement threshold approval list as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.9, approval to increase civics outreach for Visions Committee. Ms. Davis. This is the one.
This is the one, sorry, got
Okay.
confused. So again, the there's a clause in the superintendent's contract that he's given $2,500 for civic outreach. And because of the Visions Committee, which wasn't anticipated originally, we're asking to increase that amount to $5,000, so increasing another $2,500 so that we can use because we're currently using our gifts and donations fund for that, and we need that money for things like the year-end celebration for our employees. And so, and that's what this money is for things like the Visions Committee and those types of things. So we'd like to increase that in his contract to $5,000.
I'll make a motion to approve the increase in the civics outreach on superintendent contract for the Visions Committee as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions on this? I want to make sure everybody understands exactly what we're doing here. Cool. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.10, the trust insurance renewal, Ms. Davis.
So this is our annual trust renewal, which we talked about a bit in the budget. So again, our liability and auto insurance, again, with also the professional liability is only a 2% increase, which is a great reduction from the prior year, as well as the workers' compensation insurance, which is an increase, again, is based on the salary increases that we're giving this year. The overall rate for the workers' comp has decreased, but again, it's because of the increases in salaries that is bringing that rate up this year. So I ask that you approve the liability and automobile insurance, as well as the workers' comp insurance for the FY 25-26 fiscal year.
I move to approve the trust insurance for liability, automobile, and workers' compensation insurance for the fiscal year 25-26 school year as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and seconds. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.11, school properties disposal, Ms. Davis.
So these are the monthly disposals. We have some from NHE, the junior high, and the cafeteria. So I ask that you approve these disposals.
I move to approve all school property items for disposal as presented.
I second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 7.12, classroom site fund pay for performance plan. Mrs. Cosbury.
You've been so patient. Thank you.
No worries. All right, so 301 committee met every month, once a month since January. We were made up of people from every site, volunteers. We had multiple volunteers from most sites. I think we only had one from the junior high. We were tasked with figuring out like the performance plan, so the $600 that's allocated for performance to teachers. We first started by putting out a survey to see when they wanted to get that money, if they wanted it like all in December, all in May, or 50-50. Dr. Farnsworth had sent out an email prior to that explaining the new pay structure for performances in 301. We didn't get a lot of feedback on that one, but it was pretty overwhelming that they wanted to see the whole $600 paid out in December, so like a Christmas fund, kind of like the old attendance stipend that you guys remember. And so we went ahead with that, and we looked at the $600, and we said, well, it's not a ton, so we don't want to make it too overwhelming, and if it's going to be in December, we're going to have to do something that can be completed by October. And so we decided to stick with what we were using for the old $1,000 in December, the goals sheet. Sent that out to the teachers and the counselors, and they went 100% for that plan. So 100% approval on the 301, $600 out in December, and just have to do our goals, which is already part of the teacher requirements at the beginning of the year.
And the other portion, wasn't that 13,000? Or
it was. It used to be. It used to be broken up, and the administration decided that they were going to put that over to the base salary. So paid out in your check. So they're not technically on the base because it's not like in the salary schedule, but like paid out in our checks.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was glad to see we had 100% approval rate,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and had quite a few people respond to it, right?
Yeah, we did. We had 111 responses to
Right.
that one. So yeah, so the and again, it's just the $600 in the piece there.
And everyone understands that these goals are to be submitted by the fall break.
So what we'll do is that sheet that you guys have, they have the whole plan. So you guys have the whole plan. What we'll do is we will send that out to them, the teachers and the counselors, so that they can review the plan. And then next year, at sometime around the same time, they're gonna have to sign to opt in or opt out. Don't get a lot of opt out on that. And so then they'll know for sure, but they should know. We also, the committee also met with teachers before at each site before they did the final vote. So it should be pretty well known what the plan is.
Please thank them for all their hard work.
Absolutely.
You as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, I will motion to approve the classroom site fund pay for performance plan.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.13 summer curriculum work. Dr. Farnsworth.
Thank you, Mr. President. And you can see on the agenda that we have several school sites where they have staff that are needing to come in and do some summer work. We've got grant monies that have been set aside that can pay for these individuals. All this has been vetted through Ms. Cosgray and myself. These are great projects to be working on over the summer, and we're happy that we can compensate the teachers for doing that.
I move to approve the summer off-contract pay for curriculum work as presented.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion on this? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.14 data sharing agreement. Dr. Farnsworth.
So this is the second time that we've brought this to the school board for review and hopefully approval. Again, this is our agreement, or potential agreement, that we would be agreeing with the Arizona Board of Regents, ASU, U of A, NAU, for our graduating seniors. We would push our graduating senior information to those universities, which would help streamline the acceptance process to those universities if our kids decided to pursue college at one of those three universities. It's the same concept that we already approved with GCU.
I'm curious, have we gotten parent feedback?
No.
So we're gonna make a decision on behalf of,
Well, I'm recommending that the board would approve so we can help parents and help kids get scholarship information and get college acceptance without them having to run down and track down all the different things that they would need to do. This would streamline that process where if we have like these two young seniors that we heard tonight, we're pushing that information out to the universities. They're chomping at the bit to have them come to their campus. So they're going to flood those parents and those kids with scholarship information, enrollment information, all types of financial aid. That typically would have to be done on the kid and the parent, who may not know. If they're a first generation parent that's never gone to college, they may not know who to contact or how to get it done or what forms to sign. So we're kind of shortening the gap between opportunities and non-opportunities. Now, parents don't have to take it. They don't have to take 1 cent. They don't have to enroll their kid in ASU or U of A or NAU. I'm just trying to bridge the gap where kids have more opportunities that maybe they didn't even know about.
I move to approve the data sharing agreement as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 7.15 approval of policy 5-217B.
So we approved this policy in the fall, and I've worked with the high school principal, and he gave me specific edits to that policy that are custom to Show Low High School. And so that's been given to the attorney, and this is the recommendation with the Sholoized version of the policy that we would recommend that you would approve.
I move to approve the policy 5-2017.b as presented.
I'll second.
There's no 0 in there, if it matters. It's just 217.
In mine there was.
There's a 0 in yours?
Mine too.
Oh, there is in the narrative, huh?
Oh, I apologize. Yeah, there should be no 0 there.
So it's just no, right, it's just 217.
It's 217.b.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. So I have, your motion still stands? Second? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.16, approval of WMI dropout prevention program.
John, before we get to that one, I was looking at 6.6, the adoption of the online platform. To start that 60-day window, do we need to approve that tonight?
So that would be, the clock starts tonight. Because
We didn't have action on it, I don't believe.
I don't think you can approve it because it has to be open to the public for 60 days per our policy.
I think this
Gotcha,
opens
okay.
the 60
This
days.
Got
opens
it.
the 60 days.
Okay, that's what I wasn't
We
sure
have the
of.
60 days, then we'll bring it back for,
Is that right?
I wasn't unsure if we needed, just, some type of emotion on it. So, good, okay, sorry about that. Your turn.
Thank you. As long as we don't miss anything, right?
Yeah, I'm trying
We just don't want to miss that. Okay, 7.16.
So earlier, or last month, we talked about having a DRP, a Dropout Recovery and Prevention Program. Just really quick, the mission of the dropout prevention is just to get kids graduated from high school, as opposed to a GED or something other than high school diploma. I'm just going to really quick skip through this. So this is the wrong one. I'm going to go off of memory because this is not the right presentation. So the DRP, when I brought it up before, we have our Arizona Online Instruction, which is our AOI, and then we have White Mountain Institute, which is the brick and mortar building. Dropout recovery prevention is an option for brick and mortar buildings, so this would be attached to WMI, not to the AOI campus. DRP is an option for students who have left traditional high school and found out that they might need that high school diploma after all. And maybe circumstances beyond their control, whether it's a family, jobs, any of those things, prohibit them from attending an in-person program. So this would be an opportunity for those who have left the educational setting to come back. They create an individual learning plan. These are the classes I need to take. Here's the dates that I'm going to take them. I will finish them by this date, and then I will do the next class. There are no minute requirements for them to do the work online. So the problem that we've had with the AOI program is that there's the 30 hours a week. That's a lot of time for an adult to sit in front of a computer. So we'll still have the AOI available. However, the DRP is also available, and the main difference for us is with regards to the attendance. It is more flexible. It gives the learner the control over what they're doing and how long it's going to take them. They do have supports in place. There's tutoring available still. They will have our counselor who will act as their mentor, who will check in with them every week, like, how are you doing on it? What do we need to adjust? How can we help you so that you can get through the program?
Mrs. Roach, can I interrupt?
Yep.
If you go to slide 6, it will talk about the DRP.
Okay.
So 6, 7, 8 talk about the DRP.
While they're pulling that up, is there an age limit?
The day they turn 22.
They can no longer participate.
Right. At 22, they're not eligible to participate in public education.
Okay, I was just
As early as
curious.
16, right?
I'm sorry?
As early as 16?
Yeah, how we have set it up is that you are out of high school. So it's not something where I'm in high school and I decide that I want to do at-home instruction. That's not what it's for.
Right.
It is for those who have
Come back.
extremely extenuating circumstances. For instance, we had one young lady who was 21 and has a child and a full-time job and needed to go. She wanted her high school diploma. So it was a challenge because of the minute requirements the state has for the AOI program. So the benefit of doing the brick and mortar building and having the dropout recovery is that those minutes, that's not going to keep you from going to school. Once you don't meet the minutes, you're removed from the program because you're not in attendance anymore. So offering the dropout recovery will give them the opportunity to go to school kind of on their schedule, still having the supports. So it's a little bit more of like treating them like an adult and, hey, we're here to support you, not to tell you you didn't make your time. And you just know that you have until your 22nd birthday.
Can I just interject? I think there's several tiers that I would like you to understand. So tier one would be everyone's enrolled at Show Low High School. That's our tier one. That's the best program. Every kid can get there. They get their traditional high school diploma. If there's challenging circumstances, tier two would be WMI.
Correct.
And AOI. So they can still have push-in classes, like you're doing a push-in math class. They're still coming in. There's a minute requirement. And then the last tier three, like for those really at-risk kids, like the one you just described, there is no minute requirement, but it allows us to help the student get that diploma. Financially, we get to keep the funding, we get to bring some of these kids back, but it's a very small portion because it's not going to be, we're not going to be putting 20, 30, 40 kids in this program. It's high school, WMI, and if those things don't work and you have a baby or you're taking care of an elderly parent or you're 19, 20, then let's look at this dropout recovery program. So it's just one last option that Reagan can offer for those kids.
The 30-hour requirement is the biggest hangup with our AOI program because it's a lot of time to sit in front of a computer, and sometimes kids just log in and that's it. Like, that's not working time. So the nice part is this gives them, like, if you're working a 40-hour week job, how do I keep going to, 30 hours on top of the 40 hours on top of being a mom? This year we had 2 kids who would have been perfect candidates for this. They've been out of school more than 2 years. They have families, but they need their high school diploma.
And we want them to get that diploma.
Right. Yeah, if they're willing to come back at 21 and say, this is what I
love
need.
this. Yeah.
We want to be able to offer that and not make it the 30 hours be the thing that keeps them from getting that.
I think it's awesome.
I agree.
I am so grateful that you guys are willing to provide this service to our kids and to our students. So
they live here.
Thank you. Yep, they're ours. So with that, I move to approve the WMI Dropout Prevention Program as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. 7.17, Athletic Coach Stipends Schedule.
These are the coaches' stipends for the FY 25-26 fiscal year. There are no changes from last year except for the fact that I rounded them up to the nearest dollar.
I move to approve the athletic coach stipend for fiscal year 25-26 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 7.18, Summer Speed and Strength. Mr. Hoffmeyer.
So he was at the AIA this morning, and so he's staying in the Valley because our softball team is playing in a playoff game Friday or tomorrow. But we have a summer athletic program. So just so the board is aware, June 2nd to July 17th is the window. And so 7 a.m. we have all high school football. At 8 a.m. we have co-ed speed and strength training for high school. And then at 9 a.m. we have 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade co-ed doing their summer strength conditioning. So we have 3 sessions going from 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m. from June 2nd to July 17th.
I move to approve the summer speed and strength training as presented.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay. I don't like charging our kids a fee to participate in training programs when they're representing our school district.
Motion passes. 7.19, AIA Agreement.
Every year, the AIA asks each school board to approve their AIA handbook and that we will enforce it as a district. or we will abide by it, not enforce it. And so this is the agreement that we ask the board to approve so we can send it into the AIA.
I move to approve the AIA agreement as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I'm opposed. Motion passes. 7.20 work program proposal, Beth Marsh.
Good evening again. I have asked Mr. Brandon Clark to join me. He joined our RISE program as an additional teacher in the fall. And our hope is, if we're approved tonight, that this work program will be his corner of the world in our program. I got it. There we go. All right, so just some background information. So in our program, we have tried various forms over the years of having some kind of community to work program for our students that really prepares them to go out, to have the skills to enter the workforce in any capacity. So through some different resources that we became aware of, we found out about some really great programs that are out there that can help support our students. And so we've been vetting these programs since January, working through all the pieces. And so we looked at the different programs, we looked at how they could align with what we were doing. We had several online meetings with different groups. And then when we found the piece that we wanted to participate in, we kind of made a preliminary plan, and then we brought it to our administrative level and met with our entire crew, including our superintendent, business, and director of operations, because this potentially could be a great partnership for all of us. And then we also, when we had more structure to our plan, then we also sought advice with legal counsel to make sure that the ideas that we had were viable and not that were workable with our school district. So the program that we found out about, and there's a couple different parts to that. We've actually implemented already this year what they call a pre-ETS program, pre-employment transition services. And that's a free service for our students where we work with Arizona at Works. And they've been coming in, working with our students with, parents have to opt in, right? Give us permission. And so we've had guest speakers all spring working with kids on job skills, employment things, resumes, interviewing skills. And so they've been coming into our classrooms and working with our students already. So that's kind of the pre part of it. The part that we would like to grow next year is under this Workforce Innovation, which is under Department of Developmental Disabilities. There's some kind of big umbrellas that it's under. And Arizona at Works is the program that we're working with. They actually have an office up in Pine Top. So there's local people that are partnering with us. So within that group, there's a very specific program. Now it's very targeted. So we get really excited about this, but do keep in mind it's only targeting a really specific population of students. So you can see the different factors that they have to have, the characteristics that they have to meet to participate in this program. It is also not meant for our students that, some of our students that really have significant mental and physical impairments and really need very supported job environments. Those students typically qualify for vocational rehab. And so they would participate in that program. This is really geared for our students that have some of these barriers, and they just need that support, some supported work, some skills to hopefully then get them to graduate and enter the workforce. So Mr. Clark is going to talk about what our vision looks like.
So what we're hoping to do is to kind of create a tiered program where we allow our kids, we would create different jobs throughout the district. It allows us to take them out into the district. They work under my direct supervision to where I'm able to supervise as they work in different capacities. From there, if they are excelling in that portion, then we're able to step them out, and they may pair up with somebody from grounds or maintenance, or even it could be as much as like the two young gentlemen that were at the district office. There's different jobs. They would be under the supervision of a person. Ultimately, we're trying to work them out into the community. So if they have a setback, if they, with our kids on the ED program, so if they blow up, if they, whatever it may be, we can take them, reset them, take them back in, to kind of teach them those job skills. If we just throw them out into the community, they probably end up getting fired, right? So we want to build them and show them this is the way we do things. It allows us for that tiered session. So, but the whole program would be under my direct supervision, and then we would, ultimately, the goal is just to get them out to partner with one of the partners in the community, ultimately where hopefully they offer them employment, and then be able to just move on from there. So, yes, sir.
Can I put my name in for any of the graduates?
So, what's that?
A graduate.
Yes, sir.
So the thing that fascinated us about this program is there are dollars out there to pay these students. So they will earn $15 an hour. Now they could have up between 320 and 400 hours over the course of their, we're really going to start at maybe some age 15, but 15 to when they graduate. So, but they can be working at jobs that we've created, but they get a paycheck. Now that's going to come from a third party person. That will not come from our school district. We will, I'm going to talk about in a minute, what do we need from the school district, right? But we thought, what a great thing for these kids to learn that value of you put in hard work, you meet job requirements, and you get a paycheck. One thing that I thought was pretty cool about this process, as we found out about it, and we had some ideas, and so we went to Arizona at Works, had a meeting. We were like, so we want to create jobs in our district first, because there's lots of places to support, and it's very easy access for us. And they said, well, that's never been done before. So we were like, great, let's be the first. So that's why it's taken a little bit of time to vet this and put it together. But we're really excited about what it can do. So there's all kinds of, this could go so far. There's so many opportunities just in our district. But I think the easiest ones that we've talked about starting with are working with like transportation, grounds, servicing our white fleet. Mr. Clark takes a crew of kids over a Monday morning, is like, okay, we're gonna check all the buses that traveled over the weekend. We're gonna make sure they're clean. We're gonna check the tire pressure, the fluids, and it just goes on from there. So when we look at what do we need an obligation from the district, we've worked with Ms. Davis, and the only thing at this point besides cooperation from our employees, right, and a partnership with them, is providing workman's comp. And so we've worked with her and talked about that, and she said that's absolutely something that's workable. But everything else comes from these different groups and organizations, Arizona at Works, and those partnerships. So you can see our timeline, but really we're just hoping for your approval this evening, and then we can move forward. Any questions?
Would we need to create job descriptions that are more in line with students and what their duties will be, rather than going with something that the district already has?
I don't know. I mean, they won't be employees of the district per se, but I do know part of the process for the students is like, the first thing they will have to do is fill out, just like if we hire somebody, right? They're going to have to fill out all the forms, all the things you have to when you start a new job. I do think if we're approved, we have a lot of work to get in place for the next school year, because I do think that could be part of what we look at within our program is we create maybe some job descriptions that we use for our program that like, okay, if you're going to go work with grounds and we're going to do this job today, these are the things that are required for that job. So that very much can be a part of it.
And will we be protective of our employees that we do have, some of the individuals? I just don't want to put our staff in a situation where they become mental health, specialists, which clearly they're not trained to do. So will we be sensitive to that for both, the student and our staff member?
Any placement will be screened, like with the staff. The staff's obviously got to be willing. We're not just going to impose it upon them.
And to ensure it'll be a win-win situation between both of them? Okay.
Yeah, we want to be successful.
And they will start out directly with Mr. Clark's there with them. Like if they're going out to work for 2 hours with facilities, he will be with them. So then they're going to have to work up and they're going to have to meet criteria before we could even look at like, okay, now you're ready.
Let them launch a little bit.
Now we're going to launch you into, you will go work for 2 hours. And actually, Frank is really excited about this. As we met and talked about it, it's some of the experiences that he's had in the past building these kind of programs. So we see that it could be a great partnership.
I love it. I think it could really be win-win, because it makes them become marketable and confident and going out into the workforce. So I applaud you guys in doing this.
Any other questions?
I agree. About how many students do you think you'd be able to take under your wing?
I think we're going to, right now we have about, eight or nine in the high school right now. We want to work out any of the kinks and bugs because there's other students throughout the high school that can actually join into this. But we want to work out the bugs, get everything to where it's a little fine-tuned before we start expanding it further than that. So.
Great. Sounds like an exciting thing. Not only do you prep them for the job in all of these different areas, but you actually will help guide them into the areas so that they learn a trade. They can move on from there and have more skills and abilities throughout life. So thank you. I love that you're putting this together.
What a great idea.
I agree. I'm in full support, and with that, I move to approve the RISE work program as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
Opposed? Motion passes. 7.21, student fundraising and activities. Dr. Farnsworth.
We have two fundraisers for your approval. The first one is that a student council is asking that you approve a volleyball tournament. So they're going to have 6 to 8 kids on a team. They pay $20, and it's going to be some kind of a tournament at the high school. And so that's going to be a great fundraiser for them. And then the other one is wristband sales. This is for, it looks like part of Cougar Days. Again, student council is asking for you to approve this. They're going to sell wristbands for $7 so that the students could then go participate in the inflatable zone.
Can you explain that? What is the...
I would love to explain the inflatable zone, and Ben, I'm going to ask you to explain the inflatable zone.
So inflatables, games like bouncy houses and jousting and stuff like that, but each of those requires its own waivers. And so when we've added it to Cougar Day, all the rest of the stuff, you can go out to certain fields and just play and hop in and use your tickets and play for fun. But that zone, which last year we had on the baseball grass, so it's fenced in, kids can only get into that zone with a wristband. That means they pre-signed a waiver to go in that zone. So one of those deals that, like, you know, you cross fingers and hope nothing happens. I mean, they're nice little kids at the end of the day, but yeah, fun zone. That's the idea.
Okay. Sounds like fun. I move to approve the fundraising activities as presented.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. 7.22, gifts and donations.
We've had a fantastic donation by the Navajo County Board of Supervisors, specifically Daryl Seymour, who kind of streamlined this and donated $5,000 to help with our lockdown supplies. So each classroom has a bucket. If you know a Lowe's or a Home Depot bucket, they're filled with, you know, water or crackers or things that if we're ever in a lockdown situation for several hours that kids and students may need. And so we did an audit under Brandon's, Mr. Clark's supervision, where all the SROs audited all the emergency buckets across the district. And we found that they need to be updated, and some were old and moldy because water had burst open, and the granola bars, you know, sprout mushrooms and stuff like that. So this is a fantastic donation that much needed to help us replenish those buckets.
I move to approve the gifts and donations as presented.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Want to express gratitude for those. Thanks so much for the community and how you help us. 7.23, future agenda items. Anybody have anything?
No, I just wanted to say I love the idea of us getting together with our administrators, you know, our principals and our directors, and maybe we can offer them dinner or something.
Yeah.
You know, that would be nice to, you know, get together with each other and.
Are you offering to make us something?
No.
Oh,
I'm offering for Joe to order something.
Sorry, I was.
So would this be an appropriate time to talk about a June work session and maybe pick a date that we could all work with our calendars?
I will be in Alaska from June 5th to June 9th. After that, I am
Okay.
available.
Do you prefer the week of the 12th or the week of the 19th? Oh, I'm in May. Let me
We
see
have
here.
a
In June?
meeting.
Sorry, June. The week of the 9th or the week of the 16th?
Sorry, wrong with me.
Oh,
I'm gone after the 12th.
so when is your cruise, Kelly?
Beginning, I think.
June 5th through the 9th. So I'll be back for the June meeting. So maybe.
What about the 2nd or 3rd or the 4th?
Oh, June?
Yes.
Well, you know, my son graduates from boot camp on the 30th, but I will be back the 31st. So, yeah, I have like back-to-back trips. But yeah, June 2nd or 3rd, I would be available. I'm leaving again on the 4th, though.
Okay, how's the 3rd? That's a Tuesday.
Works fine with me. How about
Paul?
you all?
I'm open.
I think I'm gonna be driving to Alaska,
Are you?
but I'm not sure yet, so you never know what I'm doing. Let's go for it.
All right, well, so we'll schedule a work session on the 3rd, and we'll have the directors there, as many as can be there. I should ask the directors if they're free,
We would love for you all to be there.
and that way we can have more of an interchange with their reports.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to do this in the evening for a few hours?
Yeah,
Would
yeah.
that be your?
You want to do a 5 o'clock start, a 5:30, a 6 o'clock, and then you want to do 5?
5 works great, yeah.
And have dinner?
5 to 7, like
5 to
let's
7?
be done by 7.
Okay, let's be done by 7.
Don't you all think?
Sure.
Yeah, keep it short and sweet.
Okay.
8 o'clock, 8:30 is bedtime, so 8 o'clock's fine. Anything else? Future board agenda items? Anybody? Okay, we have no requests for call to the public. At this point, I'll entertain a motion to move into executive session.
I so move.
I'll second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. I wouldn't wait for us. How are you? Y'all have a good night. We'll see you when we see you.
I think Ms. Davis needs to have you guys sign a few things before we go back.
And thank you all for a great school year. You were awesome. We appreciate you. We value you.